Okay, today we're doing a leak repair on a XR8 4-speed Ford, and we've just found that the front servo's leaking there. It's actually running back along the pan rail and everywhere back along the vehicle. So to gain access to it, we've got to actually remove the exhaust so we can pop that out and replace that O-ring. So I'm just going to go ahead and just take off this side of the exhaust. I may have to even loosen the other side just so I could get that out. And then we'll go from there. Now these exhaust studs are always usually a bit rusted or corroded, so it's a good idea to just use a penetrant, whether you use diesel or WD-40 or CRC. It's a good idea to just try and soak the stud just to get it off easy. If it's still not coming off easily, don't just try and force it off. You'll break the stud and then you'll create a bigger job. But just what you do, get a breaker bar and just work the nut left and right until it gradually comes off. So I'll just go ahead and do that now. And you can see it actually come out of the manifold instead of the bolt coming off. So it was on there pretty tight. Now, instead of loosening this side, usually it doesn't take much. You just need to get it off that flange there. What I do is I put a little jack there and just push the exhaust back. It'll just come back and come out. The whole exhaust system is a little bit flexible, but don't overdo it. And another good idea is just to tie your jack with a chain or something, just so it doesn't come down on top of your head. Now I'm just going to leave it hanging like that. I've got plenty of room there to get it out. Another good thing might be to just take this heat shield off that's on the selector cable there. So just so that little bit of the heat shield at the back there isn't in your way. Wire brush and blow it out as best as you can. Clean it. It'll just stop any muck from getting back inside when we're putting it back together. Now normally I wouldn't have taken this exhaust off, but just so I can get the camera in there a little bit better, you'll see that there's a little circlip holding that, and the end is just there. I don't know if you can see it. You can see where my finger is. So you've got to push this cover in a little bit and just pop that circlip off, and that cover will just pop up until the seal hits that groove. Because it's rubber, it'll expand and just get stuck there. When you're pushing it in, there's a chamfer there that'll allow it to guide in, but coming out is a little bit of a tricky process. So just be aware that it won't just come out real easily. And this transmission's also got fluid in it, so just have a container. You will get oil coming out of it. Also a good idea to just let it cool down when you're working on it, so you don't burn yourself on the exhaust or on the transmission fluid. So just, you can see that's feathering in. Can't really see where the end of the circlip is. Just going to tap that circlip around a bit, just so I can see where the end is. There it is. See the end there now. There it is. Just That's the circlip there. And that's still not coming out. You can see the servo cover's turned, and like I mentioned, the O-ring's now stuck on the sharp edge of where that circlip groove is. So you've got to actually lever it out. What I like to use, a big pair of multi-grips. Just work it, wriggle it out. Usually. Probably is a better idea to take that exhaust off, so you've got a bit more room there, but you'll need to get a little bit of leverage there to pull that out. Okay, if you can't get it off with the multi-grips, we've got this little tool that it's like basically a clamp. You clamp it onto that servo cover, and the top hole, or this rod here, is just for leverage, and you can just pry it, lever it off the transmission case, careful not to damage the housing, and it'll just pop out. And there we go, that's the O-ring there that we need to replace. You can actually feel that it's pretty well hardened. Now I'm just going to replace the other O-rings as well. They've hardened as well, so while I'm in that area, good idea to replace it all. We just pop the circlip off there, and just make sure, because these little cushion springs in here, they are known to break. This one's okay, but you can see it's also chewed into that piston a little bit, so that's good. We can put all that back together. Yeah, the O-rings, you can't really mix them up. You've got the smallest one goes on there, slightly larger one on there, and the largest one goes on there. These have got the thinner cover seal, so in the kits they actually have the thicker one and the thinner one, so we're going to use the thinner one in this one. Now you can see what I mean. See, there's a chamfer there where that O-ring goes in, so when you're pushing it in, it'll go in, no worries, but on the outer side where the circlip is, it's a sharp edge. That's why you can't get it out very easily. So what I've done as well, I've just blown out and cleaned in that servo bore, because at the bottom there will always be a little bit of muck. It'll accumulate there, and you can also just check that valve, make sure it's free. And we're just going to put a little bit of Vaseline petroleum jelly on there, and we can pop it all back in. Don't forget to put the spring back on as well. So it's just a matter of pushing it in now. As I was rotating it, I've just tapped it in slowly, and I'm just holding it in there because that spring will push it out, and just put the circlip back on there. There we go. Always a good idea to just get a screwdriver and just push that circlip just to make sure it's seated properly. There we go, job's done. You can rotate this a little bit if you want the seal just to sit a little bit evenly, but that's basically the job. Anyway, thank you for watching.